starting with us this year. It's an amazing couple. They have a lot to offer, and I'm going to be chatting and talking with them. You will love to hear their story. You will love to get their groove, and we're going to have a great time today. All right. So today, and as we continue every other Friday as usual, today is Valentine's Day, so we decided to come back. Normally, Heart to Heart Live is on Fridays, but today we're bringing a special couple to you. So I'm going to ask. I'm going to bring to fore this very special couple, and we're going to be talking to them about their life, about their love adventure, what makes them tick, what makes their love life tick, how we sure, once they stepped into the studio today, you could see that glow, and that glow is still there. If you're watching live, you'll agree with me that that glow is there, and they're going to be telling us how they know that this glow will always be there from years to years. All right, so I have Dumebi and CJ. I guess that's their stage name, so we'll probably get to know more about their names, who they are, what they represent, and what they do. All right, but they are here to tell us about their love story. You guys, you're welcome to one Act Out Live on the platform on Digis 1024.
Thank you.
All right, so let's get it. Let's start with, that's your stage name, or your brand name, Dumebi and CJ. What are your real names? Who goes first?
Okay, she'll go first now.
Okay, it's actually our real names, but we decided to brand ourselves using our real names. So I'm Dumebi.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and he's
Yeah,
CJ.
I'm Chijoke actually.
Exactly.
So CJ for short.
For
yeah.
short.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, let's start with, how long have you been married?
Okay, we're married for about let's say a year and a few months. Yeah.
A year and a few months.
So we're heading for 2 years.
2 years. All right. So it explains the glow, isn't it?
Right?
All right. So today is Valentine's Day, Val's Day. Let me just ask you first of all: are you feeling the groove? Are you one of those people who don't believe in Valentine, or you have your own perspective? What do you think? What's happening today?
Of course, Valentine is we were born into the celebration.
Yeah.
It's been a part of our lives all these many years, and I think it's a beautiful thing. Even though people are redefining what it's supposed to be about. Of course, if you read the history of Valentine's Day, you'd realize that it's supposed to be a beautiful thing, and it is actually a beautiful thing. Yeah, love is a beautiful thing. Love is a good thing, and when we celebrate love, we celebrate the very essence of living, the very foundation that holds life and living. That's what it's. Yeah, that's what it is. So it's a beautiful thing. For people who understand what love is about. Love is a beautiful thing, and we're going to share our story of love,
exactly.
Of course, and you'll get to understand why I'm saying this passionately. Yeah, love.
What do you think about Val?
Amazing.
Well, I believe Val's is a period to show love, not just couples, not just to married people. Show love to humanity, show love everywhere. But we down here in Nigeria, I think we've kind of changed the narrative. So it now makes it restricted kind of to just married people or people in a relationship and all. But I believe it's more than that. It's beyond that. Because looking at the history of Valentine's Day, we see love in its real form, in its real essence. So I believe
the issue with history with Valentine's Day is that there's a lot of versions, revised standard versions, perspective, and all of that. But okay, the point is, the world has chosen a particular day to celebrate love. We know love is true. We know love is real. And we can see love in your eyes.
Right.
So, so let's start with, how did this journey begin? Let's start. How did you meet? And what was your first impression about each other? Not what later happened. Just
First
your
impression,
very
right?
honest impression about each other. Your first impression. We'll go, sir.
let me go.
Okay.
Okay, so we met through a mutual friend, and I remember the first day we spoke over the phone. I kept asking myself, who is this person that I connected with instantly? Like I couldn't ignore the instant connection. Like we spoke as if we had been friends for years, and it was
No. Your first physical meeting, or it was just a phone call?
just a phone call. Yeah,
Yeah,
just a phone
we
call.
talked on phone before we
met.
His voice is
Before we
used to
met.
that shit. I can imagine smooth talker.
No,
Yeah.
it's beyond
Is
the smooth talker thing
Yeah.
because you know how.
Of course, she
you
had
talk
met
to
a lot
your
of
friend.
smooth talkers, but
Yes, you know how you
yeah,
talk
in this
to
case, she
your
met a
friend now.
different, different kind of smooth talker.
Yes.
The one that really appealed to her.
Yeah, so I think we met.
Be raving yourself there.
We met like 5 days. Okay, we spoke first on a Monday, and then we.
How
met
long was that talk?
Like 2 hours plus. So
The
it
first,
was
yeah,
Morning
the first
was
conversation
something
was
to
so long.
Yes. So it was. I don't know if I should call it magical.
It was
So
was
there's something
magic.
about love being magical, first touch.
Yes, I would say yes, because it doesn't happen all the time, and then when it happens, you should ponder and think, okay, what's really happening, what's going on. So that was how it was for me, and then we
So
met.
do maybe just a minute. You did not plan to spend that long. You
No,
just- you just-
didn't. We just flowed. Like I told you, it felt like we had been friends. You know how you speak to your friend, like someone maybe you served with, you went to school with,
Okay.
you speak with them for a long time over the phone, maybe, and that was the exact experience I got.
What was the first impression at that time?
I just told you. I couldn't help but wonder the connection. I was like, who is this person? Like, did I know this person in my previous life? If there's anything like that.
Yeah.
So I had that kind of feeling, and
Yeah.
I felt the bond, the connection, the friendship, the laughter. There's something about meeting someone and you flowing on the same frequency. Sometimes it doesn't happen that way. You find out that maybe this person doesn't think the way you think, but this one you're thinking alike. You're thinking there was just this synergy.
Same day.
Yes.
Same day. But I just didn't put my mind to it. I didn't think too much, but I just
She took
I was
notes.
intrigued about the connection, but I didn't.
Fantastic. All right, if you're watching us live, you're listening, you are beginning to hear the love story of this powerful couple. If yours is similar, you've had something magical, or you're probably experiencing something magical right now, call, let us know, share your own experience. All right, let me come to CJ. Was that
Okay.
your first impression too?
Yeah, it was, and of course, what happened was around that time I was in 2019, right? 2019.
Yes.
So I was already tired of meeting people over the phone because, of course, as of 2018, I had my last relationship in 2018, so I didn't want to do anything. I wanted to be, ready for marriage before going into something else. So I took time off dating and all of that. And in 2019, when I started thinking, not in the idea of settling down, I talked to a couple of my friends, mentors. So at different times, I'll get calls. CJ, there's a number I want to send you now. Call this person. Call that person. So, and different, even Madam Producer. Yes, everybody was, because I have a lot of people around me, lots of friends, family, loved ones. So they really took interest in that aspect of my life, and they wanted to be there. So they were always recommending. So I was tired. So it was one of my guys, like a mentor too, who called me and said, okay, there are 2 girls I want you to meet. He gave me the number of one of them. I refused because he didn't have her number, but of course he knew her when she was still almost like a kid, or when she was a teen. Yeah. So so he didn't have her numbers at that time. So he sent me the number of one other lady. I didn't even call that one because I was tired. So one day he calls me out of the blues and he's like, CJ, how far? Have you made that call? Have you called that? I said no. He said, okay, I've gotten the number of the other lady. Let me give you that one. Call her. So I think he gave it to me, and I didn't call her for almost like a week. So it was on a particular day, that particular Monday, he called me again. I think he chatted me up or something, and he was like, call her. He talked me into making that call, and I did. When I called her, she was in rehearsal. She just finished from choir rehearsal. I was in church.
Oh, you sing?
Yeah, she sings.
Fantastic.
So she just finished. So she was like, okay, I'm going to call you back. Of course, eventually I discovered that she had even, the guy had told her about me, spoken to her about me before asking me to call her. And my wife being a very inquisitive person, and she can be very analytical, so she went online, searched me out.
No,
you know. I sent her a request, yeah. So she had looked me up online, on Facebook,
so
all of that.
She had some basic info about it.
So immediately I called her. She knew I was she just knew that I was the one.
Yeah, he didn't tell me your name, but when I saw your request, I just knew you were
yes.
that was to call me.
Yeah.
So I just figured it out.
So I thought I was calling a total stranger. I was calling someone that already had some background in knowledge.
Okay, so that probably apart from that probably explain why you guys were able to sustain a very high conversation, because you already have some basic things to have.
Well, funny enough, we didn't talk about ourselves. We don't talk about what we just talk about random things. Most of the conversations we had on that day were centered around values, our kind of beliefs, kind of things, our kind of values, our kind of thought patterns, all of that. So it was so like when we were done, I was like, what is this? I wanted to keep talking to her every day. So the first thing that happened was that friendship was built from the first day. She didn't, of course, I was not even taking interest in her so much as at that time already, because I had not met her and she wasn't, neither, because the friendship, the connection, the friendship connection was mind blowing.
The reason is that I had already seen his picture. I guessed it was him, and he confirmed he was the one. But then I was like, I don't even want any dark guy.
That guy, yeah, she didn't want that guy, and I didn't want a fair lady too. Because funny thing was, all my 3-4 relationships before that, they were all dark.
Oh, they were all dark.
Yeah, so my spec, as at that, even till now, to an extent, I still like dark girls, like chocolates, dark girls. They appeal more to me than fair ladies. Yeah.
Wow, that's good. So now let's move from the point of the phone conversation when you now had your first physical meeting. Did anything change? What was your first impression on meeting him now, live, face to face?
Well, I spoke with him first on a Monday, and I met him on the same week, Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I met him that evening, and I would say he was shy.
Was I?
We don't. I was not expecting that.
I wasn't expecting that, and well, I had to. Should I say man up? I had to brace up because I had met a lot of people prior to meeting him, so it wasn't anything spectacular. I would say, yes.
First impression.
Yes. Was I really shy?
Yes.
Okay, so I came in and first when I saw her, I was outside the church waiting for her because I think they were in choir rehearsals too. Okay, no, that other one was a church meeting with their pastor. So that one was choir rehearsal. So I was in front of the church. Immediately she walked out, I was just like, let me go and ease myself. I needed to catch my breath.
And she got it.
Yeah, so when I saw her, I saw her in the evening. It was quite dark, so I didn't really get the full view. So I was supposed to, because I came from Owerri to Onitsha to see her, so I was supposed to go back to Owerri that same evening. That was my plan. But she was like, stay back now, attend service tomorrow now, stay. So I was like, okay, no problem, I'll stay. So I found somewhere to stay in Onitsha, and then next day I went to church with the same clothes I came to church with the previous day. And I saw her in the choir section.
Wait. All of these meetings didn't happen in Lagos?
No, this was in Onitsha.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I traveled to the east because she was based in the east. She lives in the east with her parents.
Just to go and see her?
Okay, no, I went for a conference in Owerri.
Okay.
So I used one stone to kill two birds. So I was like, okay, let me rush down to Onitsha, see her.
Okay.
And then go back to Owerri to continue the conference, then travel back to Lagos. That was my plan. So, but I got there and she was like, stay back, let's see tomorrow. So I stayed. I was watching her on the choir session. I was like, wow, this is fine sister. Singing well and all the things. So after church, funny thing was that I didn't have there was no impression. I just knew that, she's my friend already. Because after that first day, we kept talking on phone until I traveled. It happened in the space of 1 week. Spoke to her, then a week after. So, but we were talking on phone, and the connection was, it was awesome. So I was like, wow, she's my friend, and I enjoyed having conversation with her. That was the only thing I knew. So the Sunday when we went out, after service, I was like, okay, let's go somewhere and hang out. Her parents went from her siblings. I took her somewhere, we sat. I was so tired. I was sleeping on her.
And he slept practically.
Like,
so, you know, when
I
you're with your
slept-
friend, there's
Yeah.
no fun.
yeah, there's no forming.
pretense.
We were just talking, and I just
And
slept
his
off.
eyes were red.
My eyes
I was
were
like,
red
This guy is so
because I was in a conference, so I was already, tired, very tired. So she was just like, you know what, let's go, come on, start going. So I was like, Abi. So she saw me off to the park. I took a bus from Onitsha to Owerri and traveled back.
You know, I told him afterwards that if I had known him, let's say, much longer, I would have poured out of his face.
How can you be sleeping?
So, but when I got back to Lagos, we kept talking, and of course, communication breeds affection.
Yeah.
So we kept talking, and we kept, it was just going, and I think it was around November thereabout that I asked out.
Wait,
December.
Just a minute. All right,
Okay.
so let's talk about that transitioning. Magical first time conversation, great friendship established, and it is always, and I would like to put some light on that. It makes all the sense in the world to be married to your friend.
Yeah.
And you can see even with our conversation that these guys are friends, and they are friends of themselves, and you can see that even in their conversation. So let's move on. At some point, you began to look at her again and again, and you were like, let's take this relationship a little further. What was that ice-breaking moment? What happened that made you say, okay, beyond being great friend, I think I want to spend the rest of my life with this?
Yeah. A lot happened. Of course, I discovered, okay, first of all, I'm sapiosexual. I love intelligent ladies. I love so my wife is very intelligent, she's very smart, and that of course was another point of connection between the both of us.
Another green light.
So I knew that I wanted to. I knew that I like. Then I remember when I was listening to recommendations. First thing I always ask is, what school did she attend? Tell me. So if I don't know, it was one of my friends, one of my naughty friends that taught me that girls that attended state universities or polytechnics that should. So I had that kind of thing in my head that state school or poly. What did you study? Those kind of things. And what courses have you done? I like to ask those kind of questions, just to see how explore. And then, of course, raise up some topics. And no, we didn't. I attended University of Benin. I attended Covenant University. So when I heard CU, I was like, wow, I've met a couple of. Most of the people I met from CU, they are very, very smart, very intelligent. So I was like, okay, this one is, and then of course they're talking about, I have, I'm a pastor, so of course she knew, and definitely I'm not going to settle with somebody who doesn't have that kind of, that doesn't have that ministry thing as well. Of course, she wasn't be a pastor like me, but she has to be someone that really accommodates that aspect of my life. So, and I realized that she's also that ministry conscious person, with a lot of gift, a lot of passion for people, to reach out to people and to be a blessing to people. And I'm like, okay, awesome. So this one, I think most of the things I wrote down, she ticked them. She's from Anambra State. I wanted to marry a lady from Anambra State, and she's from Anambra State. Because I met a lot of other ladies that are not Anambra, but I really wanted to marry from Anambra State. It was one. Well, I don't know. I don't have issues. I don't have issues.
I thought the pastor would be like, Lord.
Yeah, anywhere. But it was just my personal preference.
Okay.
I don't advise people against marrying, outside of their own states. If you want to do it, if that's what you want, I even encourage people to do it if, so that we can at least let there be some form of connection, inter-tribal connections and all of that. But for me, I just wanted an Anambra lady.
So
because of
all
certain other things.
the checklists she was.
Yeah, she was just thinking. Apart from some of the physical, for me, I had some physical. I don't. We'll come back to it because, God answers prayers. Yes, God answers prayers.
All right.
A couple of the issues I had with her physically, in less than a year, God started solving those problems in my head and solving that problems. Those problems, and but it was more of it was not. Of course, she's a pretty lady, but it was not really about the looks. It was more about the person, the personality, the
aura,
values,
the value,
of course, and vision and all of that. Papa D,
we're going to come back to hear more about their journey, and it's built to last series, so I'm going to begin to ask them more specific question about what makes their relationship tick. I want to know what they saw in each other, those green light moments. I mean, he's mentioned a bit of it, but he's a pastor, so he probably has talked about, some things that you probably you term spiritual. So I'm sure he's going to say a lot more about physical and, also talk maybe about it. All right, but let's go on a break. We'll be back. Please don't that dial. Wait, we'll be back.
My name is this one I serious number one I've been searching for my true love. I have gone on my knees and I pray to my God above for someone who's compatible, who believes with God all things are possible. Not for long, this person came along just like we were meant to be. And the way our minds connect, I knew that this love is real. I'm so happy. This one a serious love entity.
Would you like your event to sound like this?
Check, check.
Or like... Then you're just one call away. Hook up with Digit Sound Solutions for your indoor and outdoor events. With professional sound engineers, the best of equipment, your dream event is sure to come alive. For more inquiries, call 0809-573-3330. Digits, live sound at its best.
This is
Digits. 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 Digits.
Digits.
Digits 1024 Radio.
All right, welcome back. This is still Heart to Heart Live, and you are chilling with Papa D and a very, very special couple, Dume B and CJ. And we've been having a great time talking about their life, their journey of love, and explaining to us the glow that we see. They're just about 2 years married, so we're talking about that journey. This is Built the Last series, and we're going to be talking to lots of married couples, maybe one or two bring engaged couples, and talk about their love adventure, what makes them tick and what makes them special. Right? We want you to be part of the conversation, part of the show. If you are listening and you want to ask them any question, or you want to participate and share your own love story or love adventure, you know, the number to call is 0809 888 1024. The number again is 0809 888 1024. And you can go on Facebook Live right now and search for Digits 1024, and you will be watching and listening to us live. So let's get back to them as we continue. All right. So we were talking about the tipping point, the ice-breaking point. That moment you knew. This man is no going back. You know, what was that moment for you? How did you know?
Well,
was it when he started giving the vibe?
Well,
Or maybe you even knew from that first 2-hour conversation.
No,
Nah.
I didn't know.
All right.
I didn't even consider him because of his complexion. Yes. So I just wanted him to just remain a friend and all. But you know, when he asked me out and all that, you know, I just felt.
How did he do that? He did that with a pastoral voice. He did that with a pastoral authority, or he just
really.
normal
He just,
as a guy.
He just was normal, you know, as a guy. Yeah, but I had to just take a break. It was like when he threw the question, I started withdrawing gradually, and he could feel it. So the reason was that.
And that was deliberate.
Yes, it was deliberate. I needed to be sure.
And heartbreaking too.
Yeah.
Was heartbreaking for
It
you?
was
Yes,
heartbreaking.
I needed to be sure
it
that I
was
was
heartbreaking.
not on the fast track, you know, to making a mistake.
Let's look at it. From the moment you met and the time he said he wanted you guys to take the relationship to the next level, what was the time space?
It was less than 2 months.
Well, that was pretty fast, man.
Yes.
It was.
Pretty fast, yes. So
Of course,
we met
I was
in
sure
October.
of what I wanted at that
We met-
point, so I had to
We
pop the
met
question.
in October, and then by December he was already.
No, but you said you were trying to give yourself a break from past.
Of course, yeah. So, but at that point, I was ready to settle down. That was why.
Why? Because I was in baby.
No, not even before I even met her. Before I met her, I was already thinking of settling.
Oh, okay.
Like around that time, I started talking about settling. So
Okay,
I
you
wanted to
mentioned
get
that.
into a relationship. So I started talking to people about it.
Yeah.
It was one of them that, you know, referred me to her.
Okay.
Right, yeah. So I wanted, if she had said yes, we would have done everything. If she wanted it in 1
Can
month,
you imagine?
and then we'll just.
So
Okay.
I just needed to back out and be sure, like, which kind speed be this one. And then he really felt it, like he felt the impact. Because I remember the next day.
What were you
January,
doing? You were not picking
I
his
wasn't
calls,
giving him attention. I wasn't picking his calls. You know, normally when I miss his call, I'll pick.
Yeah.
Or sorry, I'll call.
She wasn't
back
replying my
and
messages
all
on
that.
WhatsApp.
I wasn't, you know, giving him that instant attention. In as much as I would do it, but I'll take my
Your
time. I beg, yeah.
Very understandable.
Yeah.
And then it was really, really tough for him. He thought he was losing it, and there were a lot of things that
Losing it or
happened.
losing you?
Losing
Losing
both,
it,
losing it and losing her.
That he has never been in a situation like that.
Oh,
he's
okay.
like this kind of ladies man that
Oh,
Yeah.
all the ladies.
Yeah, like no lady had ever said no to me before I met her. So it was a direct she was a direct shot at my ego, you know, and you understand. So it wasn't funny. It wasn't funny.
He was deliberate.
Funny thing was that Christmas, because of course we met in October, right?
Yes.
And then November, then December, I asked out around that early part of December. So she was like, come back, you know, of course, during Christmas, come back to the East. So I went back, traveled back. There's a program we do in church. We attend the same church.
Okay.
The program we normally do around that towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
So we met in that program and we're cool. Like she was just still there. I went to her place because from my town to her town is not just about maybe less than 30 minutes drive. So I drove to her place, saw her people, saw her family. We went out, you know, came back. I think we saw again. They had moved to Onitsha in January.
This time you had already dropped.
Yes, I had, but there was no
There was
feedback
reply.
from her.
There was no yes.
You know, she was just like, okay, see my parents, see my pastor. So I saw her parents, saw her.
Oh, that's green. For me, that would consider that as green light.
Yeah, it was kind of a green light. And for me, I just felt like, okay, in my head, she's just the normal thing that we ladies do now. Just take their time. In my head, this one, she's going to tell me yes. In short, she has already said yes, finish.
Bang, bang, bang.
That was how it was for me. So even when she was delaying it, I just, in my head, I'm like, it's the normal delays. So I was telling my friends, I've seen there's somebody already. You know, in my head, I'm already dating. So when she now started acting, it was in January. When I came back to Lagos after the Christmas holiday, the Yuletide holiday, I came back to Lagos. My God, it was something else. She started giving me attitude. She won't pick my call. If you call her, she'll tell you, you know, now this January, I'm trying to start the new year now. So I may not have all the time to always talk to you because I'm trying to start. You know, and that's when I got to realize that people make time. I discovered that I had discovered before that time that people make time for what, you know, is important to them. So in my head, I'm like, if she's not making time for me, that means I'm not important to her. So I knew that there was something
wrong.
So what happened was that I spoke to that my guy who then called because he was in their church, their branch church of our church in Onitsha. So he has some contacts there. So he said, okay, he's going to find out what's happening there. So he called someone to find out. The person told him that there's a guy in church, and that guy in church who is on her case. So I'm like, I don't lose battle.
Don't lose battle.
Because if I were there, you understand exactly. So it's a day. It go there easier. We can compete, but I'm not there. I can't do anything for you. I can't take you out. I can't do anything.
So
I cannot show myself. So in my head, I'm like, you know what? I think I've lost it. So, and I'm the kind of person that I don't have power for emotional issues.
Be fighting,
so I'm like, if you want me to stay and be fighting this emotional war, let me just back off. So I was already backing off. But of course, because I already liked her, I would always go back to calling her once, twice. So but I already backing off.
Every day to talking maybe once in 2 days,
yeah,
3 days, and like that. You can imagine.
How did you finally bounce back? You know, and then just came back to the scene.
Okay. So
something must have happened.
Yeah.
Something happened. A divine eureka moment. Okay, maybe I should share the story. So what happened was that in January, early February, you know, she just calls me upon the. I remember, I can't forget that I was on my bed in my room. I saw the phone. I'm like, I used to call her Ada then. Ada calling me. This is serious. So I picked the phone. She was like, I'm coming to Lagos tomorrow, right? The next day. I think it was the next day or 2 days after. It was supposed to be a Sunday. I went to Lagos on that the next day or 2 days after Sunday. And please, can you come and pick me from the airport? In my head, I'm like, me from the airport, as in, I wanted to just tell her. She was coming for a training program, and it was an all-expense paid trip. And I'm like, why not? Why people that brought you here? They should have arranged for the way to get you from the airport to your hotel now. Why do you want to just use me? And you want to use me in this Lagos? You know, as Igbo man concerned, I'm like, you want to use me? So, but while I was trying to turn down that, and of course it was Sunday, so I had every excuse. I want to tell her, you know, I'm going to be in church. I'm going to be busy now. I'm a pastor. This, that. It was an excuse for me too, but because I didn't want to be heartbroken. While I was doing that, I heard a voice that told me, CJ, this is your last opportunity to make an impression.
Wow.
He said that boy is so he came so strong. He said when she comes to this Lagos that she's coming to, this is your opportunity to do all the things that you need to do. Do everything possible. And if it doesn't work out after now, you can let it go. So from that moment, I decided that I was going to. She was supposed to stay in Lagos for 3 days or so. Yeah. I'm going to be with her all through those 3 days. So the next day, I was calling on the phone. Where are you? Have you left? This, that. Eventually, she missed her flight.
Yeah, that's.
So she now. It was on Monday that she eventually came in. I left my office, left everything, went to pick her up, took her from the airport here in Lagos down to Ajah. That was where her hotel was. You know, you get it now. So took her to the room. She freshened up. We went out. I took her somewhere that same evening. I stay around Ojo Hill. See the distance. You know, so we went somewhere. We talked that day. I think that night I tried not to even have any conversation around.
We didn't talk
about us. We're just talking about, you know, our normal kind of talks about random things.
And I was avoiding it.
She didn't want us to have that conversation. So in my head, I'm like, I'm not even going to talk about this. If possible, I won't talk about it. Maybe until the last day or maybe when she goes back. So after that, I went to drop her off. Went to sleep at a friend's place in Ajah. The next day, I went to work. Tuesday, when she was done with her training, her trainings are usually in the morning. So when she was done with her training in the afternoon, you know, before she I told her, I said 2 hours before when you're going to round off, just let me know so I can come down and, you know, pick you up and keep you company. So the next day she calls me again. I left my office, left work, left everything. And as a matter of fact, I remember that day. The pastor in charge of prayer in church called me to stand in for him, that he wouldn't be, because I had a service that day, to stand in for him. I said, Oga, these assignments you are giving to me. This assignment, please just carry it and keep one side. I have a more important assignment to do somewhere on the island. But he didn't know what I was talking about. So I left for the island. We went. It was that day we somehow we stumbled on that conversation. We had to just have it.
Second day.
You know, that second day. That was when she told me the most heartbreaking thing I've ever heard. She told me, she said, Oga, you don't stand a chance with me. So what happened was that I had told her certain things about me, because I'm the kind of person that when I date or when I get involved with people, I know what marriage is. I know how important communication, openness is. So I try to tell you everything about me. Like I don't want a situation where you come in and then you start discovering things, you know, or you start I start wowing you with some of the nonsense. We all have those things. So I knew some of the things I was trying to
an open book.
Yes.
From the very onset.
And of course I know she's not in Lagos, so if I want to deceive her, I know, you know, now definitely. I can't do it. But I said no. Because I love and honor her, and I know someone I want to spend the rest of my life with. I need to be open with her. So I told her, I said, see some of the things, but I'm working on them. Yeah. You know, but you know, my wife is the kind of person that she loves God. She loves, you know, very sanctimonious, holy, righteous sister without spot and blemish. So she didn't want any compromise, anything. That carry one thing. I tell me you're working on it. Oga, I don't want working on. Let it be that you have this thing. I don't want this thing. And of course, she told her pastor too. Her pastor was also like, oh, you are not, because her pastor loves her so much. Yeah. In short, her pastor even wanted her to even have some people that he was also, you know, you know, so he loved her so much. And of course, I was coming to take her away from him. So he didn't want that. He wanted her to also be in his church, because there were a lot of other guys in church that had interest in her. He was the one that even told me eventually, the pastor told me eventually that if I know how many guys, that one even came to his office a week before the day I came to see him, to tell him that he should just fix dates.
Can you imagine?
You know, that, you know, so they didn't want, you know, and all of that. So I when she told me on that day, she said, you don't even stand a chance with me. I was like, okay. On a scale of 0 to 100, she said less than 50%. That was what she said.
We're joking.
When she said that thing, I was like, my goodness.
But I just told you that.
I went back heartbroken. I felt so bad. I felt so terrible. But I had decided.
Wait. You allowed him to go like that?
Of course.
You were serious?
I was serious, yes.
Continue.
So I went back that day or that Tuesday. But I had decided I was going to. I heard that voice again. I said, "Stay on her. Stay on her. Stay." So I said, "I'm not going to allow this one to distract me." Yeah. And of course, I don't want to give the impression that because you have turned me down, that I'm doing this for you because
And that was a good one.
because I said I'm going to, irrespective, I'm going to stay.
And that's
make
what
sure
friendship is about.
is about. Yeah, yeah,
Scoring some good points.
yeah.
I'm
So
sure she saw it.
so yeah, of course. Eventually, she saw all those things. So so Wednesday, she was supposed to travel on Wednesday.
Yeah.
She missed her flight.
Again.
No, on Thursday. So what happened? So I stayed back on Wednesday. We were together again. On Wednesday, I slept over at my friend's place. Thursday morning, I went to pick her from the airport. She was supposed to travel on Thursday afternoon. So went to pick her from the airport, brought her down to her jaw. So I was like, let's go to my house. Let's stay in my house for a while. Then from there, we can go to the airport because my house is, closer. So we went to my house. I made her breakfast, she ate. And then in my sitting room, in my sitting room there, I have this reading table where I like an office space, little office space. So she went there. I saw her. I can't forget. She went there. She opened the drawers. She was looking through all my papers, looking through everything. So in my head, I'm like, she's looking for exhibits.
Looking for
Exhibits because she.
Things he reads and all that. So I was just being inquisitive.
Yeah, but in my head, I'm like, she's looking at exhibits. Should they find? She's looking for something to say, this guy. So, but of course, I trust myself. So I just left her. She was doing her thing. I went to make breakfast, brought her, she ate. Then I was like, okay, let's go to church. Let's go. Let me know. I actually wanted to. My plan was to just get her into my world and my space. So let's go to church, see my church. My pastor, my mentor was in church, so I called him up and said in church, okay, let's go, let's see him. So when we saw him and his wife, of course, he already knew everything. He was even one of the persons guiding me through the whole process. So he saw her, talked to her, and the wife too. They just loved her instantly.
They were repping you before her.
Of course, trust my Oga. he was putting things in her head.
In my head, I was like, that time would have agreed. That time would have accepted.
They cleared a lot of grass sweets of now. So he said she was like, if you see him, said this one. You are blessed to have him.
I was like, I didn't discuss that with you guys. So
yeah. So that was when the airport road was under construction. So we didn't remember. I didn't remember that construction going on the airport road. So on my way to drop her off, there was traffic. So we didn't get there on time. So she missed her flight again.
It was divinely arranged.
It was now let me even tell you something about that trip she made to Lagos, Papa D. That training was supposed to hold in Port Harcourt. It was supposed to be a 6 months training. They will come to Port Harcourt 3 times in a month, 3 days in every month for the next 6 months. So but that first one, they wanted them to come to Lagos for that first one. Then from the second one, they will start going to Port Harcourt.
Yeah,
right?
Port Harcourt is even
closer to her. So that was the plan. Okay. So that coming to Lagos was divinely orchestrated because she was not supposed to come to Lagos. And I was already giving up, but God wanted her to come. So it was a God move. It was a God move, and it happened that way. Then that flight that she missed too, I think it was even also part of the whole thing, because what happened was that when she missed that flight, we came back, her parents were now worried, because my wife's parents, they are very, they love, they are very careful with their kids. So they were like, I called the mom. I said, Mommy, just calm down, okay? I'm here. I'll take charge. She'll be fine. She will come back. So what happened was that, when we got to the airport that day, before she even traveled, she was supposed to land in Owerri. Yeah. But I'm not like, no, Owerri is far. Let me route you to Asaba, which is closer for you. So I did that. Then when we got to the airport, we rebooked, spent a lot of money. I was willing to spend, spend on this girl. So I said, don't worry, I'm going to take care of it. So I rebooked her. She sat down, I did everything, give her the ticket. I said, tomorrow, don't worry, we're going to leave tomorrow. So we came back to the mainland, and then I called a friend of mine who is a queen of hospitality.
Bam.
I said, I want to put and of course, we're very close. So she already knew about her. So I said, she missed her flight. I want you to help me take care of her. You know, my friend is awesome. So I took her to my friend's place. She told them to stay together for that day. Then the next day, which was
next day.
So yeah, her flight was now for Saturday. So on that Friday, I said, like, okay, let me come and see you in the morning before going to work. I went there. She was like, you know what, let me go to work with you. I'm like, okay. So basically, she saw everything about me: my house, my church, my business, which is actually 3 major areas of my life. So she followed me to work. We stayed in the office for about 6 hours, 5 to 6 hours. Came back to Festac, spent some time, and I took her back to my friend's place. The next day, Saturday morning, I came out early in the morning to pick her up, and then, you know, took her from the airport to, you know, took her from to the airport, and she landed. Now, when she landed, she told me that when her younger sister saw her, the first thing she said that, maybe you have added, you know, in just these few days.
My goodness.
I'm like, you know,
I didn't even know that our time had gone this much.
But she needs to now tell you what happened, and
Okay.
you know,
finally see that.
Well, I saw him as, you know, I saw everything about him. I saw how real he was to me. And
During
how,
that visit.
Yes,
Obviously.
yes, and how he was not willing to hide anything, how he was willing to work things out, and, you know, I took all these things in perspective, and, you know.
So when you got back to where?
to Onitsha.
Your
Yes.
prayers
Yes.
began to change.
Because I didn't, prior to that, I didn't even consider to pray about him.
I know, but
Not
with all of
him.
these investments,
Yeah, so
you have
I
to now
have
start
to-
thinking.
Yeah.
This guy makes
No,
sense.
it wasn't just about the investment, because I feel anybody can invest in
I
someone
understand.
that.
But that became something
Yeah.
It was a
that,
trigger.
you know, a trigger for
Yeah,
her
but
to
what
go into
really,
prayers.
What really got me was how open he was and how real. You know, I was like, what can beat this? Because beyond someone investing in you, they could be other things that they're hiding and all that. So, you know, that was it. And
you took time to pray.
yes,
She went into a fast.
yes, and all
Seriously.
that. And, you know, I had my own personal convictions.
So very quickly, how did you tell me a yes? A phone call or you visited?
There was no yes. Funny enough. So what happened was that
You didn't ask
a
anything,
week
you
I didn't even,
ask.
after the whole she
You
went
didn't
back,
ask
I did not
again.
ask anything. I just told myself, I said, you know what, I was going to travel to the East the week after. So I said, once I land, because after she traveled back, I realized that she was now coming around. Like she called. I remember her birthday was a few days after she left. I didn't call her on her birthday. I forgot her birthday. She called me that day or the day after. She was firing me. So I was like, yes, this one is a good impression that, you know. So I was not like, okay. So I started seeing that she was. So I was like, you know what? I'm even done with this whole asking out thing. Let me go to her father's house and see her father there. So let's see what happens. So I traveled the week after. Immediately I landed Asaba, the airport in Asaba. Just around that place, I got a bottle of wine. Took a taxi straight to her father's house. Got into her father's house and said, I was like, it's not you I came to see. I came to see your dad. She saw the thing I was holding. She was like, what's wrong with this? In her head, I know she was like, well, I didn't even mind. She went and called her dad. Her dad came out and I put the bottle. I'm like, I had met the dad before now, of course. So, and I think the parents, I saw that, you know, receptions. They actually, I later got to realize that they liked me all this while. And yeah, she told me. So I said, you know what? I see what I came for. She was like, okay. He was like, okay. Of course, we're going to talk to our daughter, and so he was not like, oh yeah, maybe come and see him off now when I was leaving.
That's
So
his dad.
yeah. So in my head, I'm like, anything that happens now, if she slaps me, I'll take it. If anything. So I realized that while she was locking me out, we didn't even talk about what happened.
Yeah.
But she was just
Then I should have
laughing.
slapped you
She
now.
was just, you know, I saw that she was blushing. She was
I should have
happy.
entered
So
your
in my head, I was like, yeah, that's it.
Well, let me help part 2 of this. I thought there's no way we can finish this whole story. I need them to come again because I want you to now talk about your marriage for 1 year plus and what you now do as a couple for other people in relationship. It is something we need to hear. I enjoyed every bit of this conversation, because I could see all the salient fundamentals that are required to have a strong relationship and a strong marriage. If you listened very attentively, you will notice them. But for some people, probably may not be able to pick it. We'll be glad to have you again so that we can itemize those values that will make any relationship last strong. Thanks for sharing with
Thank you.
us.
Thank
Your
Thanks for
story,
having
so
us.
real, so open.
Thanks for
I
having
hope
us.
you come again for part 2.
Yeah, we're up for it anytime.
All right, so it's been a lovely conversation with Dumebi and CJ. They also have a YouTube channel. They are active on social media. I think they have one Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah, we have Facebook. We have a show, YouTube show that we do, the Prime and Groom Show.
Prime and Groom
Groom
Show.
Show on
Right.
YouTube,
You
yeah.
need to search it. You need to listen to them over. In fact, you will find some of their stories in much more detail.
We did a full story on how we met, so you can get all the other details.
All right, so
all the details.
go on YouTube, search for them. We're bringing them back
Prime and
anyway.
Groom Show.
Bring them back.
The
yeah.
Prime is it?
The
Is the Prime and Groom Show?
That's
Yeah, Prime
D-E or
THE, then Prime and Groom GROOM. Yeah,
Oh,
Prime
fantastic.
and Groom, not Bride and Groom.
Yeah,
Prime
Prime
and Groom.
All
Yeah.
right, so please go search that out, join them, and you will want to continue to listen to them, and there will never no dull moment from what you can see today. All right, so but I'll bring them back again for part 2 so that we can glean from their experience and wisdom, and I'm sure a lot of people coming behind will have a lot to learn. Today is Valentine's Day. I hope that you go out responsibly and share love and do what will be impactful to society. Till will come your way. I won't say same time, because now we're going to begin our usual routine of Fridays 3 o'clock. That's Heart to Heart. It's on Fridays 3 to 4. So please put that in mind. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Digit1024 on IG, on YouTube, on Facebook, and to get more juicy content. I want to thank our producer behind the scene and everyone who made today a great day, especially Dumebi and CJ. All right, so from every one of us here, it is a bye-bye. Go have a great time and great evening. Enjoy love.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I really like you, and it's true. There is only one, just you. I find it hard to say I wish you knew. I am on your Instagram all day, stalking you. You in my life is all I'm hoping for. If you could be mine, dear, now forevermore. I won't talk my mind and say how I feel inside, but I fear you won't feel the same for me. Oh, if she loves me, hallelujah. If she says she loves me, hallelujah. Oh, when she loves me, hallelujah. If she says she loves me, hallelujah.
I see the way he looks at me. I know the things he does for me. Boy, if I could read your mind, I wonder if I'd be inside, if you could be mine. I feel like I've been drinking wine. If you call me baby, me I don't go mind, oh. I know you want me, baby, make you talk your mind, oh. You see that I've been waiting, me I don't go lie, oh. Me I don't go lie. Maybe I'm just crazy, but I think he loves me, hallelujah. Oh, if he loves me, hallelujah. One day he'll tell me, hallelujah. I think he loves me, hallelujah.
I don't love you for a long